Hey guys, today I will show you how you can build a Google Calendar agent that you can send a voice message to, and that, according to the voice message, will add a new event into your Google Calendar. Add a meeting with a friend of mine at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So guys, you can see we've received a message. It has added it to my Google Calendar, so I can just open my Google Calendar pretty quickly right here. And you will then see it has added meeting with a friend tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Exactly what I told it to do. You can also trigger it with a chat message, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a voice message. I think that's much more advanced and it's much more helpful. So we're now in the very workflow that I will create for you and that I will build with you. I also have the finished workflow right here that I will sometimes use for a little inspiration. But the first thing that we're gonna need to add here is a Telegram trigger. Of course, because we're gonna trigger this with Telegram, you can also use WhatsApp or whatever, but using Telegram is the simplest way. So we're going to go on message, then of course add the correct Telegram bot here. Okay guys, so the next thing that we're going to have to add is an HTTP request tool. Just pretty quickly, because we need, of course, we're going to need a voicemail for the agent so that we can set up all the connections and put in all the variables. I'm just quickly going to send a voicemail. So I have a meeting with a friend today at 5 p.m. Now we click test workflow. Problem running workflow, of course. We're gonna have to add some sort of URL in here, and now should be able to test the workflow. Send it again. So I have a meeting with a friend today at 5 p.m. So now we should be able to map this. Yes, you can see we need this right here, down here, voice. It only creates a section when you send a voice message. That's why we have to do it. So we're just gonna replace this little thing at the end with the file ID. Just check if this works. Of course, we cannot have a space right here. Be careful with that. If there's just one little space, the whole thing won't work. We're gonna test the step, and you can see it outputs something, which is great. We have now retrieved the file path. We need the file path for the next HTTP request. This is the best way that I found out we can do it. So we're again going to leave this to get. And now I also got this URL from ChatGPT, but we're simply going to take this right here, and put it in here. What this will basically do, we will need to add the path right here, and then this will now download the file. Because you need the file path to download the file, we will probably have to add a little more. Yes, exactly. So we're going to have to go down here, click on add option, response, and then simply turn this to file. You can leave this as data however you want it. We can now test this very step. Oh yeah, resource request, of course. Again, be careful here. It will not accept spaces. So you can see this right here. This should have worked. Now we need to transcribe the file. And for that, pretty cool, we're going to use AI, of course. We're going to search for OpenAI, then take audio actions, and then transcribe a recording. Double click on that, connect your OpenAI account, resources audio, transcribe recording is the goal, and the input field name, put this to the same name as here. This is the name that we just put in our HTTP node, just leave it as that. Now you can see if we test the step, it will generate this output. I have a meeting with a friend today at 5 p.m. Exactly what I told the tool to do. So we're done with the voice message scraping part. But we still need to give the agent the current time of today, because if you just use the normal agent and give it a calendar tool it's somewhere stuck in 2023, and if you tell it to make a appointment for tomorrow, then the appointment is gonna be somewhere in October of 2023. So we're gonna have to first add a not scheduled trigger, get, how's it called? It is called date and time. Okay, not very spectacular. Date and time, then get current date, and get current date, and also include current time. That is very important, because if you can of course then also ask the agent, you can also tell it, I have a meeting with a friend in 1 hour, and then it will add that in. So if you want that, then also select the time thing. And now we can also already add the agent, AI agent, pretty simple, tools agent, connected, chat, not the connected chat trigger, no, but we're going to have to define that below. And for that text, I have generated, or I have written a prompt. This is the entire prompt. It's nothing special, just a few lines. Put the following appointment into my calendar, and yep, and then this is the current date time. So these are basically the only two things. And now, of course, we're going to have to map all the stuff in here. So put the following appointment into my calendar. What we're going to have to do first now is we add the text from the from the Telegram trigger. We're going to have to add the text. I think that we quickly will also have to send a little message to the trigger so that we can map it. Chat ID, first name, username. Yes, we should definitely need to do that. So also just very quickly click on test workflow, and now just now I don't know why it doesn't work honestly right now. It has a problem right now. Oh, of course, if you want to test this, you will have to add all of this stuff in. So I'm going to use a OpenAI chat model. GPT-4 or Mini should do just fine. We're going to use buffer memory 5 should also do, and then the tool we're going to do last. But now I just want to quickly show you how this works. So we will put in what we can already put in, so that I'm worried that this will not be there. Okay, I will just quickly send it a message. So I have a meeting with a friend in 30 minutes. Boom, just like that. And it says, didn't get any previous data. Because there was an error in this little thing. Let me just quickly recap that in my other workflow. Of course, we're going to have to add an if node right at the very start of the workflow. So just go if, and then if you want, so text is equal to, and now, or of course it's a string, so if string exists, I think we can, if it exists, then we immediately go to our agent. I just quickly have to plug in my PC, and if it doesn't exist, then we go here. And now we should also now we should be able to message the tool again. So go to Telegram, click on test workflow, and now, of course, meeting with friend in 30 minutes. Okay, now you can see it's immediately put that through to the agent. Now we can just put the following appointment in my calendar. So it's just going to be the text, just like that. And no, this is not down here. This should be up here. So text, map that right up here, and then current date and time. Oh, of course, we should probably not map this right to the agent, but instead first map it to the date and time function, because it always needs the date and time too. So we can now get that. Once again, execute previous notes or test workflow again. Once again, I have to send something. This is a lot what in it, and this is just a lot of testing. I forget things often, and then I just will have to do it again. That's how I also build my workflows. So now we are going to send this also text. Don't know why it's red right now. So we're going to have to just map text again. And else we should just also, okay, the rest wasn't executed. So we have now added the one from the if node, and we will now once again, send a, let me just shortly add this right here so that we also have that. And now we're going to test the workflow again. This time I'm going to send a voicemail. So, meeting with a friend of mine in 2 hours. Now it goes to the lower one here, and we can simply, what we're going to have to do now, because of course it usually would take the text variable from the if node, but because we don't have a text this time but a voice message, we need to write a little text where it tells the agent, if this doesn't exist, use the voice message. So if the text, because if we didn't write a text message, if the text doesn't exist, and we do it like that by simply putting 2 of these, and then if the text doesn't exist, take text from the OpenAI node, and now we have that in here. What we need to do now is also just, this should all be fine. Okay, so here just put these 2 little strings and then put the other option. So this way it will use this if it exists. If it doesn't exist, it will use this right here. So we're now going to have to add a Google Calendar node. So Google Calendar tool, of course. Connect our accounts, set automatically, create an event, calendar. I'm just going to use my very own calendar. And now another important thing that we're going to have to add here, and I will also go copy that from my other workflow, is this function, from AI function, because we're going to have the AI, or let the agent define the start and the end of the event itself, because otherwise it would always have to be fixed times or times that we generated in our workflow, but we want the agent to take the time from our prompt. So we're going to have to use this little expression here, which is basically just, I can very shortly explain that to you. So which is basically just from AI, and then in these little exclamation marks, start time. We should also just be able to delete this second part right here. You're only going to have to give it a name, and then we can, for example, also say time when event should start, and then down here for this one, end time, and then a little description, time when event should end, just like that. and we can now put this out because we don't need that. It will always take the information about the start and end time from our prompt. Now, the last thing that we're going to have to do is use default reminders. I honestly don't know what that does, but we also, to give it a name, let me just copy this right here, or it should work without it. So now, to give it a name, we once again want the AI to give it a name, but we're going to have to add a field and then summary. And for the summary, we're going to add this expression right here. So it's just going to be from AI again, then event title. Of course, going to have to set this to expression. So from AI, it's looking for an event title variable, and the description for this is a proper title for the calendar event. So it will now choose the title itself, which is pretty awesome. So this is the whole setup basically. The last thing that you can do now, you don't have to do this. I just always like to edit is add a Telegram node, and then use the send send a text message node actually, and again connect your Telegram account, all of that, send a message, and then for chat ID, of course, we're gonna have to fix the error in the agent first. Error in subnode. Why is there an error? The subnode session ID, connected chat trigger node, of course. Also going to have to do that from down below. And let me just quickly look up how I did this in my other workflow. So yeah, we didn't even need that. All right. No, actually, it's a session key, chat ID default session key. We can add this in here, and it's also an expression, of course. Just add this little expression, and because you will have to add the chat ID from your Telegram node. So you could also just do that, because your Telegram node will always output a chat ID, and you will have to put that as your buffer memory, I believe. But just put this little expression if it doesn't work. Otherwise, context length, we can leave all of that as is. Now that works. Around sub memory, maybe if we save it. Nope. Open arrow node, define below. That should usually all be fine. So we're just going to test it again, I guess. Problem running workflow, of course, but now you can see the problems have gone away. We'll now need to execute these other things first, so we can shortly just delete this connection and then test the workflow, I guess. Nope. We're going to have to edit in here. So chat ID, I'll just very quickly again copy that from my other workflow, how it will be named. So chat ID is just going to be Telegram trigger. Chat ID is just going to be that. Of course, as an expression, so it's going to be Telegram trigger item.json.message.chat ID. Again, this is just the Telegram chat ID that we will have to add in here, so it knows which chat to reply to. And then this here, I believe, I just once again put the JSON output from the agent. So we will also just copy that. You can always stop the video and just copy what I've wrote in here, because this should usually work. Now we can just connect the two of them, test the workflow. Now once again, just to do a little quick mapping, meeting with a friend in 1 hour. You can see it will run through the entire workflow. It will add it to the calendar, and then it will respond on Telegram, or it hasn't responded yet. We are going to have to add your appointment has been Okay, this should have actually worked, but let me just quickly show you how I would map it. So you usually, of course, for output, you simply drag the output from the AI agent here, and then for chat ID, just, oh, it doesn't even go. Oh yes. So you will just simply add this one, this field right here from the Telegram trigger. As you can see, chat ID, that should do, and then we should be able to test the step. And now we should have received. Um, oh no, I know I didn't receive a message. I've connected it to the wrong Telegram account, of course. So we're gonna have to connect it to the right one. Then test step, and now you will see the Google Calendar bot has received an appointment. We can review it here if the link works. It just didn't work recently. Yes, it actually does work, and you can see in 1 hour it has added meeting with a friend, which is perfect. We can now also test the tool one last time, so I can show you that it really works. You can see we have no further blue events scheduled here. Now we're simply going to go back to our Telegram, and I will tell it I have lunch with a friend on Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. Of course, it would be helpful to turn the workflow on. That would make sense, of course. Just turn the workflow on. It's automatically saved now. Go again. Right here. I have a meeting with a friend tomorrow from 12 a.m. to 2 p.m. And now your lunch appointment with a friend has been successfully added. Okay, I took the wrong one. So we're just quickly. Oh yeah, so this is the meeting. This is what's the first one, the lunch appointment. But now we should be able to click here, and if it opens the calendar again, hopefully it works. It works, and you should see that both appointments. Yeah, here you also need to be careful. This now, because I didn't say 12 a.m., it just took midnight, and you can see like the appointment is set over the entire day, which of course isn't optimal, but just be a little more precise here. And you can see I told it Saturday lunch from 5 to 7 p.m. And it should now meeting appointment with a friend. Oh no. So again, another thing that you're going to have to be careful about, you need to put the correct time because it is on default to New York time zone, but I live in Europe, Germany, so I'm just going to put my time zone here. This will just change the time for this one workflow, which you should keep in mind. Like whenever you have a workflow that has like time involved or calendar events involved, you of course want there to be at your time zone, and we can now tell it again. I'm having dinner with two friends of mine at Sunday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Send it that. Now we should very quickly receive the message. Here you can see it. We can once again click right here, and it should now have added dinner time from on Sunday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Let's just load the workflow. This is the wrong one. We need to go 1 week prior. And here you can see lunch with a friend. Okay, it took 7 p.m. So try to be very clear in your tone. But you can see that it works pretty well. Of course, the whole thing is just as good as the tools that it uses. So if you don't speak clear, or if the in the end it's also like AI, so it can make mistakes definitely. But just having this as a personal agent or as an agent for your business, whatever, it's still very precise most of the time. This time it like changed up 1 hour, but that still works. So yeah, this is it. This was the tutorial. I hope it's very helpful. I hope that you have learned a lot. This is not hard to build. This is like rather a beginner workflow, but this was also like the first workflow that I built that uses voice transcription in it, which I found pretty cool. I found it pretty awesome. And there's much to come in the future on that. So if you like the video, feel free to subscribe to my channel and look over to my X account. I'm very active on there. And then I hope to see you very soon. Goodbye.